Hey guys, and welcome to this sixth video in the Python programming tutorial for beginners. In this video I'm going to talk about lists, tuples and dictionaries in Python, and I'm going to tell you the differences between those three. And I'm also going to show you some different kind of examples on when to use lists and tuples and dictionaries, and then show you the differences between those three. So let's jump into the computer. We're now in the computer and we've opened up the Jupyter notebook. We're going to talk about lists, tuples, and dictionaries in Python. And first of all, I'm going to tell you about the differences. And a list is a collection which is ordered and changeable. It allows duplicate members. A tuple is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable, and it also allows duplicate members. So the difference between a list and a tuple is that a collection is changeable in the list, where in a tuple it is not changeable. So it's the difference between a list and a tuple. We also have a set, which is a collection that is unordered and unindexed, and it doesn't allow duplicate members. We also have the dictionary, which is a collection that is unordered, changeable and indexed, and it allows no duplicate members. But first I'm going to show you some examples with lists, where we can define a list here with those square brackets. So if we print out the A, I'll just clear the output cells first. So we define the list by this, and we can print it out here, and we can see we print out the list here. And then we can also get the different elements from a list, which is called indexing. So we can say that an index of the zeroth index of this list will be the first element here. We start with the zeroth indexing, which we already talked about. So if we print out the zeroth index of A, we will get the result 1. And we can also print out an index range. So if we have A here, for example, we can print out from index 0 to 2, and we can see that we get the first two elements, which is 1 and 2 of this list. We can also change the value at an index if we define the list here, and we index it here, where we take the zeroth element of this A list, and we change the value to 2. If we print this out, we can see that we change this 1 to 2. So we can also change value at an index. We can also check if an item is in a list. So if we have a list defined here, we can check if the number 1 is in the list A. And if it is, we print out that it is in the list. So if we print this out, it will be in the list because 1 occurs at the 0th index of A. And we can also, if we have a list, we can append items to the list. So it's basically just adding elements to the back of the list. So in this case, we have A here, which is a list, and we append the number 6 to it. So before we append the number, it will just be the original list here, and then we append the 6 to the back of the list. We can also insert an item at a specific index, which is just like the function insert. So we can, at the fifth element, the fifth index in the list, we can insert hey. So in this case, we can insert hey here at the fifth element. We can also choose like the third element, and it will be in the middle of the list here. So that's also very, very good to know. And when you can insert an item, you can also remove an item, which is just kind of the same, but you just call the remove function and then the element you want to remove. So in this case, you can either delete an element, or you can delete an element at an index. So you can do both, and it's both good to know. And we're also going to use this a lot, where we remove and insert on different kind of list. And it's also very important to know how to sort a list. If you have an unsorted list, which I talked about up here, a list, it can be ordered and changeable. So if, for example, we're given an unsorted list in some kind of way, and we wanted to sort it, there's different sorting algorithms and stuff like that, where we use the built-in function here, sort. So we have an unsorted list here with unsorted numbers, and we want to sort it. So we get so if we just print it out, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we sort the list from here, and that's pretty much it. And then we have the tuples, which is just some kind of unchangeable list, where we defined it with those brackets instead of the square brackets. So a tuple, if we just print it out, we can use the same indexing as on a list, and we can also like take the index range of a tuple like we did with the list. So we can do a lot of the same operations on tuples that we did on list, but we can't change can't change the elements on the tuple when it's already defined. So in this case, we can remove or change items in a tuple. So we have defined a tuple here, which is called A, and we try to change the value at the 0th index to 2. So if we try to print it out, we'll just get an error here. So it says tuple object does not support item assignment. So we can't change or remove any items from a tuple. And here we try to change the value at an index. So we have so this is an example of how we can manipulate it. So first, if we have a tuple and we want to change an item, we can cast it or convert it to a list first, and then we change the element on the list, and then we can convert it back to a tuple like this. So first, we convert it to a list, change the value, convert it back to a tuple, and if we print it out, we can see that we changed the first element in this tuple. So it kind of looked like we changed the value in a tuple. So the last thing we're going to talk about is dictionaries, and a dictionary is just like we saw up here. It's a collection which is unordered, changeable, and indexed, and no duplicate members. So we can use it for different purposes, and we're also going to use it in later videos. But for a simple example, we have the playlist here, for example, and we can define it as a dictionary with these curly brackets. So we can have a channel which is called the coding library. We can have what kind of tutorial, it's Python, and year is 2020. And if we print out this playlist, it'll just get printed out like this, and we have defined a dictionary. And then we can get key elements from a dictionary. So we can just say, like, if we want the channel from the playlist here, we can just call the playlist and then the square brackets and call channel, and we'll print out the string or number or whatever kind of thing we wanted here in the channel. So if we just print it out and go one by one, we can see here that if we take the channel here, we get the coding library. If we take the tutorial, we get Python, and year, it's 2020. So we can get each element from the dictionary by this indexing, which is called the key element. And we can also like change an element in a dictionary where we just call, if we like for example had the playlist here and we called the key element here tutorial, we can change it to for beginners. And if we print it out, we can see that first we had the dictionary, and then we changed this string here from Python to for beginners. So it's also possible to change and add and remove elements from a dictionary. And here in this cell I have adding an element to a dictionary. So we can also like add another element, like we have here. This is elements and this is keys. So if we wanted an element which is called level, we can also do that, and then we can assign a string to it or any kind of number and stuff like that. In this case, we're assigning beginning level to the level key, and if we print it out, we can see that it changed. It added this key to the dictionary, and we can also remove an element from the dictionary by doing the same thing, where we just call the delete and then the key to the dictionary, and we can see deleted the key we added up here. And it's also possible to use nested dictionaries, which is probably what we're going to use a bit in later videos, where we can have a channel, and then we have a Python tutorial and a C++ tutorial, and then we can have different sub keys in a key in like nested dictionaries. So we have dictionaries in dictionaries, and then we can do the same operations on nested dictionaries, which we did with the original dictionaries. So that's it for this video, guys. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification for more videos in the future, and also help me grow this channel. So let's see you in the next video, guys. Bye.